Hey everybody, and welcome back to my series on the lore of different Slayer creatures within RuneScape. And today's video is our continuation of the lore of the Ripper demons, so part 2. And if you missed part 1, you can find it down in the description below, and I highly recommend you watch that one before tuning into this one. If you have been enjoying the content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. RuneScape Lore, Slayer Creatures, Chapter 2, Part 2, Ripper Demons. After the epic battle between Elspeth and the Ripper from the text The Song from Before the War, the Abbey, located east of Al-Kharid and past the Desert Strikeworms, lays a Sardamist organization founded in her memory. The Abbey was founded in 99 or 100 of the 5th Age, and the Sisters of St. Elspeth devote their time to music and prayer within its walls. Also within its keep lies the remains of St. Elspeth, but more importantly, the remains of the Ripper demon, though the Abbey's inhabitants are seemingly unaware of it. At some unknown date, a man by the name of Jebediah Omnis, a Zarosian zealot looking to get revenge on Zamorak for defeating his lord, showed up at the Abbey and requested a voucher in order to start an excavation in the bedrock underneath the foundation, stating the likelihood of precious ores and minerals to be found. Of course, there was not much resistance from the sisters. As long as it didn't interfere with their chores, they couldn't be bothered by outside affairs. Under the guise of a prospector, Jebediah's real intentions are shrouded from the unbeknownst. But we all know his true schemes. It's to resurrect the corpse. With the excavations now started, we hear from a few disgruntled and weary employees. In the miner's journal, page 1, it reads,
Vengeful. The Abbey is sitting on top of a gold mine apparently. Shame there's not a single vein of ore in sight. I don't know who the prospector got his tip from, but it's wrong. We've been hollowing out this mine for days now, and I've barely seen anything more than substandard stone. Strange thing is, when I suggested we cut our losses and try somewhere else, the prospector, Mr. Omnis, insisted we push forward. I don't trust him. He's always muttering to himself and checking some strange scrolls all the time. It's like he's looking for something. But what could possibly be down here?
With the miners now clearly suspicious, they start voicing their concerns between each other, debating whether to continue or not. The text continues.
Benath 23. Omnis has set up some sort of camp inside one of the tunnels. That's weird enough, but he keeps talking to himself and laughing. Something about glory for an empty lord and that his vengeance approaches. I'm starting to get creeped out by this now. I just need to stick it out a few more days and then I get paid. Soon as I get those coins, I am out of here.
After weeks now of digging, it seems that Jebediah has found what he was looking for and concocts a plan to see it through. In his diary, he writes,
In Zaros' name I have finally found it. The last remnants of the Ripper that the so-called Saint Elspeth destroyed with her blasphemous music. The host was long since dead, having been entirely consumed by the Chthonian majesty of the true demon. Oh, the miners have grown suspicious over my motives. But it's amazing how independent thought is so easily swayed by a mere handful of gold. They do as I command and they dig ever deeper. This night I will shroud the exit with a simple enchantment and the miners will find themselves entombed within. They will be terrified, the fools, completely unaware that I will help them transcend into something ancient and wonderful.
The miner's destiny now seems to be descending upon them quickly. What once was simple skepticism now teeters on the verge of horror. In the Miner's Journal, page 2, it reads,
Benath 26. We can't leave. It's like the cavern exit was never there. There's just stone. It's not a cave-in, though. There's no debris, no fallen rocks. There was no sudden rock slide. It's just gone. The guys are talking about ghosts and dark magic. Omnis appears unfazed. He's just telling us to keep digging, like it's business as usual. I do not trust him.
The evil and maniacal Omnis now has the miners in the palm of his hands. Hosts, ready to be consumed. His diary continues.
The wall is sealed and already panic is set in. It's too late for them. I have finished the ritual and the demon flesh has already sought out new hosts. I am exhausted. The ancient rituals require far more strength than I had imagined. More than just runes, I gave of my blood and of my spirit, funneling that power into the near-dead flesh. But it worked. In Zaros's name, worked. The flesh slithered off the corpse of the previous host and vanished into the shadows to find its new hosts. I almost envy the miners, but they are about to become something greater than before. They will return as mighty warriors of the Empty Lord, glorious. With the Ripper demons returned, we will be able to let them loose on the vile forces of Zamorak, who has dared to once again return to this world. The demons will massacre his lieutenants and eviscerate his soldiers. Zaros can deal with the usurper himself when he returns, but I will deliver that finishing blow as my most devout offering.
As Jebediah mentioned, the demon's flesh has now sort of a mind of its own, and the miners are aware. Their writings continue.
Benath 28. Saradomin, protect us. There's something out there. Archie has gone missing. We heard his scream, ear-splittingly loud and then suddenly muffled. But there's no sign of him, nor a struggle, or where he could be. Just the same featureless walls, and the horrible shadows cast by torchlight. I keep thinking I see something out of the corner of my eye. Something slithering along the floor. It's like someone is dragging bandages through the dirt, but there's no one pulling them. I've got to get out of here.
Omnis is now gone, vanished deeper into the caves. It is time for him to sacrifice his mind, his body, his spirit to the slain demon. He has found it. He has won. The final entry in his diary reads,
I have been chosen. I woke up this morning to see that the Ripper had bonded with my leg, wrapping itself around me and beginning my metamorphosis into something greater. With the power of the demon, I will truly be able to serve my lord. Surely he will reward my efforts and my sacrifice. Perhaps I will become a general, or an advisor, perhaps a high priest. I dedicate my life, my flesh, and my soul to the Empty Lord. Zaros, be praised.
The miners are beginning to see things. Is it just their imagination? Are they hallucinating? With their lives potentially in danger, the miners' documentation of the events continue. It reads,
Raktuber 2. I saw Archie again, but only out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look and he was gone, like he just vanished into the shadows. He looked strange, like he was wrapped in bandages. Horrible, filthy bandages caked in blood. They were billowing around him like they were caught in a breeze, but there's no wind in here, no airflow. There was something wrong with his hands. I swear they glinted in the torchlight, long and metallic. What's going on here? Raktuber 5. Saradomin, save us. I saw Archie properly this time. The bandages that wrapped around him, they aren't bandages. I don't know what they are, but they were crawling over him, growing over him like some sort of horrible second skin. He was screaming the whole time, but one of them was growing over his throat, silencing him. His hands were claws, huge metallic claws. I think he was trying to call us to help, but the horrible flesh that crawled all over him dragged him back into the shadows, controlling him like some nightmare puppeteer.
The workers, frozen in fear, see their cohort continue to be consumed by an unknown entity, like maggots to festering flesh. The screams seem so real, but can something this spectacular really be real? Maybe some sleep will clear their heads. They are exhausted after all. The journal continues.
October 10. Oh, gods help me. I woke up this morning to find something crawling over my arm. It was a long strip of diseased flesh scuttling around on thousands of tiny insect-like legs. I think it was trying to dig into my arm, to burrow itself into my skin. I ripped it off quickly and found my arm covered in tiny red marks. I don't know where the thing escaped to. When I looked for it, it had already gone. What in Saradomin's name is this thing? October 11. There's something wrong with my arm, the one that thing was eating. My hand is constantly spasming, trying to clench itself into a fist. There's a weird rash forming across the arm as well, like a long worm wrapping itself around my arm. I can feel something beneath the skin of my knuckles, something solid and smooth. What's happening to me? October 12. It's so funny now. I can't stop laughing. My hand has started to fuse into a useless little ball, and the skin on my arm is starting to come away in one long, sinewy strip, like a bandage. Thousands of voices keep whispering in my head, horrible voices that want to murder, maim, and slaughter. Each word uttered fills me with a sense of anger and hatred of everything around me, of the walls in their terrible solidness, of the tortures in their indespicable fire. But most of all, I hate every living thing.
As the remaining worker's death now imminent, the transformation of the Ripper corpse into the new body is upon us. Jebediah Omnis's sacrifice to give the previous dead remains sentient life came to fruition. In an attempt to keep a shred of sanity, the miner's final entry reads,
Raktuber? There's so little of me left now. I am unraveling. Literally. My hands are now a collection of knives, and my skin is no longer my own. I hear the blood pumping in the veins of my coworkers, even as their hearts stop beating. Their blood still feels warm on my claws. There is a terrible darkness where my memories once were. Who am I?
I know who you are now. You are the Ripper. Thank you, Kathaar, once again for your voice work, as well as Nalico. And stay tuned next episode for the lore on the Nihil. Runescape. Forever.